Governor Andy Beshear is warning Kentucky that this will be likely a tough month for COVID-19 deaths in our state.
Yeah, his message comes as the state reported an additional 7 virus-related deaths yesterday. Just the day before, the Bluegrass only had 2 COVID-19 deaths. The statewide death toll now at 751. Also, 700 new coronavirus cases were reported across the state yesterday after 3 days of drops in those numbers. Yesterday's positive test rate climbed slightly as well, from 5.18 to 5.24%. And Governor Andy Beshear is making it clear once again that he wants no excuse absentee voting to be available to all registered voters in Kentucky.
The governor says he hopes to hear from Secretary of State Michael Adams on his recommendations for voting in November, perhaps as early as this week. LDX 18's Claire Kopsky joins us live at the Capitol this morning with the very latest in this coronavirus coverage.
Claire and Chris, good morning. Governor Andy Beshear and Secretary of State Michael Adams came together for a bipartisan working together for the primary election earlier this year. And now their productive relationship will be put to the test again in November. Adams told lawmakers last week that mail-in absentee and early in-person voting worked well in June. He plans on pushing to make more polling places available, and he said absentee voting could be expanded. But he balked at the proposal to make it widespread. Beshear, on the other hand, has said no excuse absentee voting is necessary during a pandemic. And while he agrees there should be more polling locations, he pointed to mail-in absentee voting and in-person voting as contributing to a strong turnout during the primary.
And I believe that, yes, it is fraud-free. I was Attorney General for 4 years. We saw very few examples of the types of fraud that people raise concerns about that would impact this election.
Meanwhile, in a Twitter thread last night, Secretary of State Adams says that he and the governor have a good working relationship, but he says that this November election is going to be a different story, as this is an election that they are expecting more voters to come out. Now, he said that he's confident Beshear will, quote, put ideology aside, meet in the middle, and ensure a successful general election, end quote. Claire and Chris, back to you.